I'm joined once again by Terrion Ware, who's coming off a unanimous decision loss to Tom Duquesnoy at UFC Fight Night 127. Lots to talk about in this fight, but first off, Terrion, how are you? When did you get back from London?
I got back Sunday night here in the States and doing good. Just trying to get over it. Just hanging out with the family, playing some video games.
Good stuff. I wouldn't expect anything less, by the way. Good to hear, spending lots of time with family and getting some video game time in. How was it traveling over there and all that stuff? I know it's, always different for every fighter as far as their experience of getting to compete overseas for the first time.
It was fun. It was great. The UK fans were awesome. Just the experience and experiencing the culture, getting the chance to walk around the city a little bit and, see some of the monuments. It's pretty extraordinary. And it was pretty cool just to be there and to be around all that stuff. And I had a great time while I was there.
And I should say, thanks for taking the time, man. We're only a couple days removed from the fight, so it's good to sort of get your thoughts on everything that went on. And I mean, a lot of controversy surrounding this fight, and we'll get to sort of the judging in a sec. But I wanted to know, what was the game plan heading into the fight, and do you feel like you executed it in this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, the game plan was to just kind of be loose, work on some of the things that I've been working on, which is mainly my wrestling. So I was able to show that a little bit in the fight. But the game plan for me is always usual, is to use my striking to pressure, come forward, and try to get the finish. And that's what I did. And I was able to execute a lot of things that I wanted to execute. But the main thing was to just kind of force him to fight. Watching his last fight, when Cody started pressuring him, he seemed to kind of back off a little bit, and he ran out of gas, and that's what we were kind of expecting in this fight. If we pressure him and make him, he throws really hard, really often, and I just knew with the pace that I pushed that he wouldn't be able to keep that pace for the entire fight, and we started wearing him down in the second and third round. He was tired. We had him backing up, and so that was pretty much the game plan.
And was there anything about him in the fight that surprised you at all?
Not really. He threw a lot more leg kicks than I've seen in previous fights. But I've seen him throw them, and I know he's that Muay Thai background and style. So it wasn't that I was super surprised, but he just threw a lot more than I expected. But I guess it was just his way of his different game plan for me.
Right. Okay. Makes sense. Now, looking back on the fight, so you head to the judges' scorecards. What's going through your mind at this point? Because, even though he's from France, he was a Bama guy. The UK fans are sort of on his side. Were you worried at all that the decision was going to go his way?
Yeah. I mean, coming into the fight, going there, that's one of the concerns that, me and my coaches, were concerned about, being in his backyard, that he would get the favor, get the benefit of the doubt if it were close. And, so our plan was to try to dominate the fight, try to overwhelm him in all the areas of the scoring criteria, and to make it not close, either finish him or make it not close. And at the end of that fight, to be 100% honest, I did not think it was close. I thought I clearly won the fight. I could see round one being close, but I thought for sure round two and round three, there was no way that it was close. And I was 100% sure that the judges would give me the fight when the fight ended. I was very surprised, to say the least, especially when they read off that 30-27. I immediately raised my hand because I was like, there's no way a judge gave him 30-27. And I just couldn't believe it, when they read off the scorecards. And, I went back into the back locker room, and I'm just sitting there and I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, did I get hit, and was I delusional? Did I experience a fight a different fight than what I thought was going on? I just, and immediately my phone started blowing up, and I'm getting all these messages that I was robbed. And then I saw the final stats, and I'm looking at the final stats, and I couldn't come to any conclusion other than the fact that I won. I'm like, I don't understand. I'm like, the stats didn't show that it was close at all. I didn't think it was, that close. I thought it was clear cut. And I was just shocked, to say the least.
Did you talk to him after the fight at all?
Yeah, so immediately what happened after the fight, I guess his coaches went up to my coaches and they apologized. And
oh, really? Okay.
They said, I quote, "I'm sorry, this thing happens in boxing over here all the time." And then Tom came to me in the green room afterwards, and he apologized. He said, I thought I won round one. I thought round two and three were yours. It was a close fight. I'm sorry. I hope you guys are not disappointed. And I just, everyone in the, who watched the fight, the commentators, Dan Hardy told me I won. Sean Shelby told me, he spoke to Joe Silva, McMahon. They all thought I won. All the officials in the back thought I won. Coaches, everyone that I talked to thought I won. Who saw that fight, and I just, I just don't understand it.
Right. No, absolutely. So you mentioned the UFC. Did you actually end up talking to them, or did your management at all about the fight and the result and everything?
Yeah, my manager, Jason House, immediately after the fight, he's never done this. He's never went to complain about anything, but he immediately went over to Sean Shelby and talked to him. And, when my manager came back into the locker room, he said, I know it sucks, don't worry about it. I talked to Sean. He thought you won. They're going to bring you back. So.
Oh, good. Okay. I wasn't sure about that. That's great.
Yeah. That was a relief off of my shoulders. And, and I got a chance to talk to Shelby as well, too. And, he apologized, and he told me he thought I won, and, they love having me here, and they're going to bring me back. So, stay ready and, and things like that. So, that was a weight off my shoulders, but, still kind of a bitter taste in my mouth right now.
Well, I was going to say, too, you had a really tough run in the UFC. I mean, Cody Stamann, who's still undefeated at this point in the UFC, Sean O'Malley, who was coming off that great win over Sukumta, and then, even Duquesnoy, a guy that they've really been hyped. Do you feel like, I don't know who else that you could fight other than maybe some people in the top 10 that would be tougher. You've really had a tough run.
Yeah, I'll never be the one to sit around and throw a pity party for myself and complain about it. Every single time one of these matchups came to me, it was immediate yes. I didn't think twice about it. I didn't think, oh man, the UFC is trying to screw me. The only thing that went through my mind when these things come across the table is go, oh, they're looking for an exciting matchup. Here we go. Let's give them one. And that's always my mentality. It's always going to be my mentality. And they say the same thing. People have been asking me over and over. Is like, what, does the UFC hate you? Why do they keep giving you these matchups? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think they hate me. They tell me that they love me. The way I look at it is they're giving me these matchups because they think that I'm that good and that they're going to bring an exciting matchup. And that's the way I feel in my heart, and that's the way I approach it and the way I think about it. So, my last two fights when they offered them to me, I could have said no. I could have or even suggested like, hey, what about this guy? Anything. It was none of that. It was, sign on the dotted line right away and go to work. So, I don't regret taking any three of those fights at all. I've done what I've done, and I'm happy about it.
And you mentioned getting a lot of messages from people just saying, hey, you won the fight. Was there anyone that maybe you didn't know that reached out that you were kind of like, wow, I didn't know this person even had my number, or they knew how to get in touch with me? Was there anyone kind of surprising that maybe reached out that kind of meant a lot?
Actually, like probably 80% of the people that reached out, I've never met these people in my life. They're just people who came to my social media, and it was surprisingly a lot of UK fans as well too. A lot of people in London. There was even some people that were like, you know what, like, hey, I bet on Tom. I wanted him to win, but I think it was really unfair that the judges screwed you over like that. And the outpouring from the fans have been great. It's been amazing. I can't thank them enough, man. Their support means a lot. It definitely helps ease the blow a little bit. But yeah, I got a lot of messages from outpouring fans, people that I didn't know that were on my side with this one.
And I saw Sean O'Malley tweeted you too, and honestly, I love seeing that in martial arts. You guys fight each other, but there's a certain group of you. There's amount of respect that sort of goes into it, and I think that's great, and I think that's what people should be looking up to.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I think a lot of people get the misconception when guys fight each other, maybe we talk a little trash, or the case may be, that I think that we don't respect each other, and and a lot of times we talk trash to each other is because we do respect each other. We're trying to get that little mental edge, And he's a guy that I respect, and I feel the same respect. He gives me respect as well too. And I tweeted him out, to after his last fight, and kind of defend him a little bit. People were talking trash about him online because of his foot or whatever the case may be. I'm like, man, that dude was willing to fight on one leg, and so we have a mutual respect for each other, and and it was cool of him to tweet me back as well too. So. A lot of respect, and same thing with Tom. I don't want people to think that me complaining my little tirade on the social media about the judge's decision that I have some kind of distaste for Tom. Tom couldn't have been a greater guy. He's an awesome opponent. He's a great sportsman, and he couldn't have been a nicer guy. So this is no slight to him, no disrespect to him, no knock on his skills and everything. He's a great fighter. It was an honor sharing the cage with him. He brought my game to another level, and so I don't want people to take this and kind of blame him or have anything negative to say about him. He's a great guy, great fighter.
And do you have any bumps and bruises in the fight? Like, how soon are you looking to get back in there?
I'm looking to get back in the gym probably like either next week or the following week. The only thing that was bugging me a little bit is my foot. I kicked him in the knee a couple times, but other than that, just some minor bumps and bruises, swelling on my hands. My leg was sore for like a day or two from him kicking it, but it's actually fine now. I'm good, and but other than that, I'm good to go. So looking to get back in the gym in the next 2 weeks and eyeing something probably May, June, July. We'll see what the UFC is thinking, but I'm hoping the very latest July. I don't want to fight anything. I don't want to fight. I don't want to wait too long to fight. So July would be the latest for me.
You mentioned playing video games when you got back. What were you playing? And we got some other video game talk we'll get into here. But first, I got to hear what you're playing right now. What was the first thing after the fight?
The first thing after the fight, I came back and I actually started playing the NHL on PS4. Because I've neglected that game a little bit. Neglected all my games like this last training camp. Just been really busy, and so I was playing that. Playing a little bit of Madden. Playing a little bit of Dragon Ball Z. And then I was playing actually out there in London. I borrowed my son's Nintendo Switch, and I was playing Mario Kart and Troll and I. And looking at, I think I'm gonna grab Zelda for Nintendo Switch and start playing on that as well too. Now that I have some time to just kind of sit down and play some games, and I was noticing I saw you playing those
Streets of Rage. So we'll get right into it here. So someone has gone about. I mean, they've done this with a lot of the classic games, but they're Streets of Rage. They've redone a bunch. There's a bunch of them. You saw me the one playing with the Street Fighter characters. So this one, you can play like Ryu and E Honda and Balrog and all these guys and Bison. So I'll tell you after the interview how to do this because there's a little bit of logistics there. But it's really cool. Like I'm finding a lot now of people going back and recreating old games. Like they've just made a bunch of mods on the N64 for like Super Mario 64 and all these other games. So I'm into the hacks right now. It's kind of interesting to see all these people go back and basically make new games from these old platforms. So Streets of Rage is one. There's another Streets of Rage one that has DC comic characters, and there's one that has Ninja Turtles characters. So you can be like Donatello and Leonardo and stuff. So it's pretty neat. But there is one you can get right away. Someone actually remade Streets of Rage. If you got a computer, a laptop, or whatever, it's called Streets of Rage Remix. If you go on Google right now, you can download that. Someone made it. It's completely legal and all that. It's got redone music and it's updated the characters and everything. So highly recommend that. Brad Wharton, my buddy, if he's watching this, he's the one who gave me the tip on that. But yeah, gotta love the classics. Retro gaming's making a comeback, I find. So.
Yeah, man. I think I like that. A lot of those retro games, they're cool. Just the kind of the originality of them as well too. And, not a lot of people are kind of making those games anymore. It's all about first-person shooters and sports games these days, and RPGs. So, that side-to-side scrolling, that's always going to be, one of the classics, one of the best. So I'm glad that they're making that. And they're making a lot of like little mini platforms of the consoles as well too that are bringing them back. So, sooner enough, I have all of them. Right now, I just have the Nintendo Mini. I'm looking to get the Super NES. There's rumors about the N64. They're making mini. So I'm waiting for all those to come out and grab those and make sure I have all those and create a fun little man cave here at my house.
Yeah, it's just so easy to play those old games. Like you don't have to be an expert. Like now, if you wanted to play like Call of Duty or something, you got in all the controls and weapons and all that stuff. Whereas I'm playing NHL '94. I mean, I just shoot, pass, deke. Yeah. That's it. It's pretty simple. And back then, that's all you needed, right? It was so good they had a scene in Swingers with it. If you remember that movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Well, Terrion, I'm really glad to hear that you're going to be back with the UFC. That's awesome. Again, I know you wish things would have gone better, but again, great effort and glad to see people really reaching out and giving you the props. Just remind people where they can get a hold of you on social media, and if you got some sponsors or shout-outs, the floor is yours, man.
Yeah, man, and thanks once again, thanks for having me as always. And you can find me on social media, Instagram, @Flash_MMA. You can find me on Twitter at just Flash MMA as well. And just want to thank all the fans out there for all the support. Thank all my family and friends as well for the support as well too. My fight team, Fight Science MMA, A4 Boxing, the guys over at Black House MMA as well too. All those guys really helped me out for this fight. And then as far as sponsors, just Reebok right now. And that's pretty much it.